Renato and TechNet Darty, thank you very much for inviting me. So my name's Jamie. I come from Erwin. I'm the product manager for data governance products. Exciting times in Erwin. A lot has happened over the last year. So April last year, Parallax, a venture capital company, acquired the Erwin products from Computer Associates, and Erwin Inc. was born. So a lot has happened since then. We've launched a new version of the data modeling products. We've been working hard on building a new development unit. Okay, so we now have agile development in 3 locations across the world, in the UK, in America, New York, and also in India. 2 major acquisitions this year and late last year. So we acquired a company called Corso. So a group of people from IBM created a new enterprise architecture product suite on a new web-based platform, which is offered as a SaaS products at the moment. So we acquired that company for the technology. So we'll talk about this new platform later on. We also acquired Casewise, which is a market-leading enterprise architecture and business process analysis company. Okay, so we've acquired them for 2 reasons. One, for their customer base, their knowledge of enterprise architecture, and also some of their technology also. And we've got a new roadmap. It's very exciting. Let me take you through it. This is the product landscape at the moment. So we have 4 distinct and separate product groups. We've got our data modeling products. I think most of you here are users of the Erwin DM data modeling products. Okay, great. So we've got the suite of products within it. We've got the web portal, the data governance part. Any users of the data governance product set at the moment? Just one, okay. We'll come on to that. We have our Casewise products with enterprise architecture and BP, and then the EA Agile. So 4 very distinct product groups at the moment. The strategy. Okay, so let me take you through the timelines. So Erwin DM is our core product range. That is our history, our legacy. Okay, we've recognised that data modelling needs to evolve. Okay. So we're seeing other data technologies coming in, so NoSQL, MongoDB, okay, is becoming more and more popular, so we're supporting that. We're going to talk a lot about any squared data. We need to be able to understand any data, anywhere, in any form, so there's going to be a lot going on around that. So NoSQL is the first part of that evolution. Something we're going to talk about soon, because we have a wider set of products coming into the stack, we need a common central licensing model. Okay, so that's something that we've been working on. We'll talk about that later on. And again, we brought in through Corso and Casewise the business process and EA tools. Cloud. We're seeing cloud and software as a service really as the future. We've had some interesting conversations with a lot of our customers. We've got a lot of big customers in traditional markets like finance and banking. I think many of you here are from financial organizations. Traditionally, the desire to move to the cloud and off-premise has a negative view. More and more of our traditional banking customers are moving to a cloud-based deployment, okay, to reduce internal costs. So cloud we see as a future. This year coming up, we're going to be releasing new products around data governance. So this is my area. We'll talk a little bit about this in a minute. We've got other products that have come into the suite. So Erwin Collector is a product where we can bring in data from a number of data sources and push data out. Again, we'll talk about this more in a moment. Enterprise collaboration is something that is very important to us. So we're gathering lots of information in our data models, our business process models, enterprise architecture. We need to be able to then push that out to the wider organization. So we're building a very attractive, easy to use collaboration portal for the wider organization to be able to see this information and benefit from it and collaborate. enterprise or erwin mapper is a tool to be able to exchange information internally within the products. Again, we'll talk about these in a moment. And then early next year, we're going to be releasing a new business process modeling suite that sits on this new SaaS-based platform. Okay. So let's go through these in a little bit more detail. So the product set is going to look more like this. So again, within these pillars, so we have our traditional erwin DM data modeling products. We have our newer NoSQL product here. We're going to be seeing a lot more point solutions on this platform, integrated point solutions that cover more and more data formats. So we're being asked at the moment about blockchain. We need to understand files, different types of transient data structures, unstructured data. Okay. So you're going to see more and more products on the stack, point products that support more and more data types. Okay. And then we need to bring them all together and understand where is this data. So this is where the data governance solution comes in, with a central data dictionary connected to a data glossary or business glossary. So all of these products will either sit directly on the SaaS-based product stack or connect very tightly into it. So we've got the traditional thick client DM products will have, over time, much deeper connectivity into this central platform. Okay. The case-wise product set here, again, thick client products will connect into the stack, and you'll see more and more functionality on the SaaS-based platform. Eventually, one day, all functionality will be on the SaaS-based platform. Okay. But we'll obviously be continuing and extending our thick client products like DM. So you'll see deployment on the public cloud, on Amazon Web Services. We'll be looking at on-premise solutions and private cloud solutions. All right. So a lot's been happening over the last year. We've released a new version of erwin Data Modeler 9.7. Okay. Has everybody seen this new product? Heard about the new features? Yes, great, fantastic, that's good. We've released some new versions of our EA and BP products from the case-wise product sets, and EA Agile. We need to collaborate with you, our customers, so we've created a new portal. So all of our users can go to the portal, see useful information, collaborate with one another, ask questions, share good information. So that's a new thing that's occurred. Okay. We'll be doing a lot of communication with you through the user community, through the portal. Right, roadmap, what have we got? Okay, lots of things ahead of us. Okay, there's a lot on this slide, I won't talk through it, but for... Obviously being British, we base this on the London Underground tube map, yeah. The tube notation, that's right. We're very ambitious. As I said, we're employing more and more developers in the development teams. We've got some big plans. Okay. Let's go through them in a little more detail. So erwin DM 9.8 hopefully is going to be released December 18th, I think. Okay, so December the 18th. Features in the product, self-service licensing. So we talked about this earlier. We're going to provide a common licensing tool which allows individual users to check out a license themselves and check that license back in. But you can manage all of your licenses centrally. So this is using a technology called Nalperon. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. So a central licensing model. Okay. We're doing a lot more work on the SQL Server 2016 support. So supporting a lot of the relational features for forward engineering and reverse engineering. More support for Hadoop Hive. So big data is a big part of our vision. We're going to be doing more and more with big data. This is quite exciting. So we're trying to separate our support for database technologies from the core products. So the core products will have a release cycle. As new database technologies come in, we can release those, the support for those as add-on packs. Okay, so we've got this sort of abstraction layer architecture. Does that make sense? Okay, that's cool. What else we got? Yeah, and there's a whole range of product improvements and bug fixes. So some nice little features like on a logical or physical diagram, I can hover my mouse over a relationship line, and primary keys and foreign keys are highlighted. We've got a preview facility, so during the forward engineering process, I can do a preview of the DDL scripts before I generate. We've got some new improvements with the data mart. How many of you are using mart? Okay, a few of you. Okay, that's good. That's good. If you've got specific questions around 9.8, then we'll perhaps talk about this afterwards. Okay, so lots of new features coming up. So, data governance. Obviously, this is my product, so I'm most excited about this. There's 4 key activity areas we're looking to support within the product. So the business glossary is a core part of it. We want to support multiple glossaries for business terms. Now, many of you, especially the larger organizations with partners, we are going to have language that is very specific to that area. So we might have an external partner that uses language that is subtly different to the core of the business. So we're going to be able to support multiple glossaries and then be able to map them together. Okay, so we can understand synonyms and homonyms, etc. We can have libraries of acronyms. So we really want to improve the precision of language for an organization and define standards for data. And within the glossary, we can get the business to define what data is important to us. We can start to hold policies and business rules. So a high-level policy, this is our data governance policy, this is our data security policy. Define that, define the roles and responsibilities, the principles within it, and then publish that through the platform. We can assign business rules to the business terms and set and define those standards for data. And we can define the data governance operating model, so the processes, the roles for how do we govern our data, and publish that through the tool. On the IT side of the fence, the data dictionary is really understanding the physical data assets. So I might have many physical data models, many logical data models. If we're lucky, we'll have one corporate enterprise logical data model, if we're lucky. Most organizations will have many chunks of logical data model. When we work with partners, so we might have an application vendor that will provide nicely documented a logical data model, maybe even as an erwin file. Okay, so define their application's logical data model. Okay, but again, it's using different language. So we need to bring them all together. So throughout the data dictionary, we'll have a catalog of data elements. So it's like the periodic table of data. So within our business glossary, I might have customer number, customer ID, customer reference number, many different terms used by different parts of the organization. In the data dictionary, I have one data element, customer reference number. I might have many logical models with different attributes representing customer reference number, and then many physical attributes, columns, fields in files, documents in a NoSQL structure, all pointing back to customer reference number. So really the mission is to define what data is important to us and then where is that data. So we'll be able to import from DM and NoSQL. We can map data elements. Okay, and then lineage is a big one. So from the data warehouse, from BI reports, we want to be able to look at a BI report and say, okay, calculated loan risk score. The regulator has appeared and said, where did this come from? So we need to be able to prove it came from this chain. So we're going to be doing, initially, there'll be some very basic capabilities around lineage. We're partnering with some other companies that have very deep expertise in lineage. There's a company called Octopi we're working with that can reverse engineer BI reports, so it connects directly to products like Tableau, and micro strategy to import BI reports. It can reverse engineer from Microsoft SSIS or IBM data stage ETL operations, and then understand them all the way back to the data sources. And then we can connect that into the DG environment to again understand where is our data and understand the lineage. So there's a lot of work going on there. And data usage. So you might look at Forrester. They talk a lot about data governance 1 and data governance 2. Data governance 1 is just understanding data, but again the context of the data is vital. So what systems are using this data? If we're starting a master data management exercise, which seems to be becoming very, very popular, the first step is what data is important to us and where is it, and which systems are using that data, and then starting to define which system is the system of record for this data. So those basic questions can only be answered by a data governance initiative. So mapping our data to systems, mapping our data to processes. So what processes are creating, reading, updating and deleting our data. And we perhaps want to focus on just our critical data, so our master data for the organisation. So data usage is key. And then on the socialised part, we want to be able to publish this information out to everybody in the organisation. Everybody can go to the glossary and understand the meaning of a term, what are the synonyms, what acronyms are associated with it. We want to look at storing reference data, so code sets. So we might hold the ISO alpha 2-character country code set and the ISO numeric 3-digit country code set, and we can specify the rules to say if we're defining country code, we use this code set in this criteria and that code set in that criteria. We want to hold the code values and become the central understanding of code sets, and using our Erwin collector tool we can then push out on a scheduled basis those code sets to our operational systems. So the vision is that Erwin will be the center master for metadata. Okay. So impact analysis is an important question. I want to be able to go to any business term and say, show me where is it? And it will then navigate through the data element or data elements to all of the physical and logical data and give you a diagrammatic or tabular view of where is this data. If I change customer reference number from 15 characters to 20 characters, what's the impact? I can go to, if I'm on the IT side of things, I can look at a particular table in a database. The table's been mapped to the data elements, which has been mapped to the business terms. So for this table, I can see all of the business rules that the business has assigned to this data and make sure when I'm coding an application against this table, am I following those rules? Issue management. Anybody in the organisation can register an issue, and then there's a workflow that manages that issue through its life cycle. Data sets. So anybody in the organisation can request access to the data. So I'm a data scientist. I need some information to do some sort of report and do some analysis. So I want to go to the tool, pick from business terms, make a request for it, and then a workflow occurs such that a BI engineer can then go and find that information. And now the BI engineer has more information. I can see, I can find this information in these places. Here is the quality of the data in these places, because we're going to be hooking into data quality tools. I can see the context of the data. Well, this data is managed by this application. This data source might be better. Okay, so it's giving you a lot more information. That is data governance in a nutshell. So very exciting. This is a long journey. This is our first release of data governance in November, and you're going to see a lot of things happening. We're seeing the new data governance products as quite a different product to the current data governance tool. The current data governance tool we really see as a product that data professionals, data modelers will use to understand their data, connect to a central data dictionary, start doing impact analysis, lineage analysis. So it's more of a technical tool. The new tool, again, is more on, includes the business side of things. If you are an existing customer of the current DG tool, then we're offering a swap out policy. If you like the new product better, great, we can swap you out free of charge. So for each license we'll provide you with 3 years SaaS licensing. We'll provide some services that will help migrate your data to the new products. If you're happy with the current products, fine, stay with the current products, we'll continue to support you. Okay, you can purchase additional licenses. Okay. DM NoSQL. So so we're going to talk about NoSQL. A lot more is going to be happening with that. Again, a whole roadmap ahead of us. All right. Enterprise collaborators are going to be exciting. So we're going to be putting together a microservice architecture so that other tools can hook into the data foundation platform and pull information and push information. We understand that data is federated, metadata is federated, so we're going to support a triple store and RDF formats to be able to link to other data stores, metadata stores. Okay. It's going to be very customizable. So again, we need to publish our information to the wider organization. We want to publish it in a format that is familiar to the wider organization. We need to be able to collaborate on this information. So there's going to be surveying and campaigns, comparisons and prioritization tools in there to people to be able to vote on things. A lot of collaboration tools. Enterprise architecture. So a lot is going to be happening there. We're just releasing a new version of our EA products. So a lot is going into that. I don't think anybody here is using the Casewise EA products. I won't focus on this then. Again, EA Agile, there's a lot going on here. All right, business process analysis. Okay, so we've got an aggressive roadmap for that as well, things that we're going to be able to do. So governance, data governance could extend further into corporate governance. So we see the organization putting its entire process, hierarchy, procedures into the product set, into the BP product set, and publishing that out to the organization. We can then start to do risk analysis on the processes, policies and controls on the processes. Okay, so put a full governance framework around the processes. And then Erwin Collector we've mentioned, so this is a product to be able to pull information from a wide range of data sources. So we can connect to any web service or ODBC driver, and we can pull in information and push information out. So within the data governance context, for instance, we might want to push out reference data catalogs to operational systems. That might be a simple thing we want to do. We might have a CMDB or a ticketing system like ServiceNow. We want to pull in information and push information to it. Okay, so Erwin Collector really is our sort of universal interface to other data sources. So you can create a connector, you create a mapping of data in that connector to data in the model, in the data foundation platform, and then you can schedule movement of data in or out. Deployment options for the bigger platform, so a lot more on hosting, so we'll be supporting private cloud. Okay, and that is a more detailed product roadmap.